Hello, this LP3 training video is for the loan register and drawer register transactions. If you click on today's business, it's the start of the business day, so there's no information here. Go ahead and pull up a previous day's close, recent report, the 26th, last one, last close of day. When I do that, I have all the transactions that happened for loan transactions for that day. Going to go ahead and this is today's business, which is the loan register. And yes, it's today's business, but you can also choose a date and time for your loan register. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the drawer register too. Going to choose the same recent report, the 26th. Select. So both the drawer and loan register have the loan transactions. Going to go ahead and just go back to the loan register to go over those. But they both have the same copy of the loan transactions. So the very first column is customer name, and it's the first initial and then underscore and then the last name. And you can see up to about 5 or 6 characters. A lot of people have very long names, and to get it to fit on the screen, we just put it down to the first initial of first name and then last name. And we have next the account number. So the part of the account number before the dash stays the same always for the customer, but after the dash, the number will increase depending on how many loans the customer has had. This is a new loan. I named the customer name new loan, and so that's the first time that this customer has been given loan. That's why it has a dash 001. We have a former borrower, and they have had 21 loans with the company. No cash renewal, so the customer did not receive cash. They had to pay to renew. It's the 9th time they've renewed their loan. And then we have a borrow renew 61 times and so forth. We have account type here. So whether it's a small regulated loan or an open loan or a large loan, most of the time you only have a certain account type of loan within your software. You're doing the same loan type. So paid is the total amount of loan payment or payment reversal. Payment reversal may be necessary if a customer wrote a check and the check did not clear the bank from NSF, non-sufficient funds. So here we have a no cash renewal, so the customer had to pay. The customer paid $251.51. This new loan and a former borrower, so this was somebody who paid off, came back in, they didn't pay, so there's no payment information here. Borrow renew, so this particular renewal, the customer did not pay. They received money, so that's why I don't have a payment here. We have an in full payoff, so the customer paid their loan off in full, $563.99, and then we have a late payment, $272.44, and then we have a NSF, so we have a payment reversal of $131.66 because maybe the payment went to the bank and the bank did not authorize payment, check bounce, something of that nature. And this was last week, so we found this out today and we did a payment reversal. So we have principal collect here, and it's all the principal for the loan. Out of the 251.51, we have 141.51. Out of the 563.99, the principal 292.45. Late payment principal for that 162.21 of the 272.44 paid. And then when we took this payment of 131.66 last week, all these numbers were positive in here, and because we had to reverse the payment, we also had to not only reverse the total of the payment, but then the breakdown of what each the total was made up of, and principal was originally 74.11, so we're subtracting that 74.11. So late fees associated with payment not paid on time. This particular no cash, so a lot of times you may not want to give money back to a customer that's significantly late, and then additionally they may have late charge. That's why the customer did not receive cash, you had to pay to renew. And then this late payment here, that's an example, named late payment, and of the $272.44, $10 of that went towards late fee. We have a PMI, which is past maturity interest. Interest secured on the loan past the last day the loan should have been paid off and money was still owed on the loan. The date that the loan should be paid off is called the maturity date. So if it's past that maturity date, those numbers would show up in this category here. NSF, non-sufficient funds. Well, we had an NSF payment reversal, and then part of the charges that you can add to that, and you can define that fee. Here it was a $30 fee for that NSF. So interest is calculated as a percentage of the loan balance paid to the lender periodically, monthly, for instance, for the privilege of using their money. So you make interest on all your loans monthly. From the first day of the month to the last day of the month, the interest is earned. And the interest on the in full payoff of the $563.99 was $27.99. The late payment $77.99. And then we gained interest on this payment when it was good, but because we had to reverse it, that payment reversal interest was reversing $49.22. So next we have acquisition admin, and that's fees charged to the customer to facilitate the loan. Unlike interest being earned over a period of time, the acquisition admin fee is earned immediately when you make the loan. So this no cash renewal acquisition fee was $100, and then $43.55 on the in full payoff, $22.24 on the late payment, and then we previously had made an acquisition fee of $8.33 when the payment was good, but we reversed the payment, so the part of that payment that we're reversing that was acquisition fee is $8.33. So we have a miscellaneous convenience fee. Any additional fees allowed to be charged to a particular loan type. And if you're not allowed to charge those fees, then you won't have anything in that category when you take payments on the particular loan. And then we have a refund. Refund is a refund of any unearned finance charges. So if you haven't continued on through the maturity date of the loan, this will list any finance charges that have not been earned when you renewed the customer. So this no cash renewal, so the customer had to pay to renew. Refund on the difference between what was earned so far and what had not been earned because of not taking the loan out to its maturity date was $338.41. The bar renew $92.29, and then of course the customer paid off in full early on their loan, so the refund amount which has not been earned is $84 on that. Then we have transaction types. Transaction types are in for new loan. We have a new loan here. I just named these loans. Instead of like John Smith or Jane Doe, I name a new loan, foreign borrower. So the transaction type here, in for new loan, F for foreign borrower. New loan down here, 1, foreign borrower 1. We'll go over this transaction totals in the next video. But if you want to know about these transaction types, if you're unfamiliar with the abbreviations, then, and additionally with anything in this section, you can click on the help button at any time. It'll take you to the training site. There's detailed documentation about each of these fields, what they mean, explanations for all of it. O and P, this is an example of two transaction types together. The O, no cash renewals, and the P, payment. So they didn't receive money and they made a payment. And as I said, if you are not familiar with these abbreviations, just go into help, go to the training site, and you will see documentation that explains transaction types in every other field. So next we have AFMT, which is amount financed and term. So the amount financed here is $1,000, and then the term was 10 months. So $1,000 split over 10 months. The former borrower was $600 split over 10 months. The no cash renewal, so the customer paid to renew $1,000 over 12 months. And then the borrower renewed $1,000 over 12 months. So the gross, the difference between amount financed and the gross is the total amount of the loan. So total amount of the loan, which is the loan plus interest and charges. So the loan was $1,000, but interest and charges of $500 made it $1,500. The one for the former borrower was $600 plus interest and charges of $300 made it $9. And then the no cash bar renew of $1,000 was an $579.92 was the interest and charges, which made it $1,579.92 for both under gross. Now net balance, it's the balance of the loan that was refinanced. So this is a new loan, and this is a new loan for a customer who had paid off originally. So they were a former borrower. They didn't currently have a loan. So those two items will be the same. The balance of the loan that was refinanced, there was no balance of a loan that was refinanced for a new customer and somebody who had already paid off and coming back to take out a new loan. So the balance of the loan that was paid off for the no cash renewal was $1,000. And then the bar renew, the balance of the loan that was paid off for them was $697.62. So that's net. So loan date, the date the loan was made. We have delinquency status. So is the customer current or delinquent, and how delinquent? Current means they're not past their due date, which the new loan and the former borrower shouldn't be past their due date because these are brand new loans. The no cash renewal, what was the status of them? They were 1 month, so that's 1 day to 30 days past due, puts them in the 1 month. And then we have the borrow renew, which the borrow renew is current. A lot of times when you do a borrow renew, maybe they might have made several payments on time, maybe they're just slightly late, and you want to go ahead and renew them and get them into a current status. But this particular borrow renew, they were current when their loan was refinanced. So we have an in full payoff. Customer was maybe 1 to 30 days late at the time when he did the in full payoff. And then late payment, the customer was in the 3-month category. So it's 120 days plus past due. Then we have the employee that took the transaction within the software. So these should explain the loan transactions. And if you have any questions still or forget what each of these items might mean, please go into our help button right here, and it will take you to our training.smallloansoftware.com to the loan register section. There's documentation and training videos. So the loan transaction totals down here, these items will total down at the bottom in several of these areas. I will be going over that training video next under transaction totals for the loan register and the drawer register. Thank you very much.